share stories of LGBT individuals and our allies in order to build true community, one cocktail at a time.
My hair? Awesome.
Welcome to Happy Hour with Cameron Stiehl. Here with just Mark today.
Hello, everybody.
Because Saturn is off traveling Europe.
Yes,
so
yes.
We miss you,
awful.
Saturn.
We miss you.
It's terrible. Today we're going to talk about allies. We just came through Pride, which was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Especially given the SCOTUS decision
Yay.
to legalize marriage throughout the country, which is great.
Yeah.
But we've had a little bit of, I would say, dividing the straight community between giving us more allies, cheering us on, more
Yes,
obviously,
yeah.
and maybe not so much.
Yeah. Although it was certainly heartwarming to see the number of allies that did, in fact, on Facebook change their profile picture to the rainbow.
To the rainbow.
Rainbow
so
filter.
Thanks to Facebook
Yes.
for that, because it made it really obvious who were supporters. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cool to see that. But we do appreciate our allies so much because big change can't happen without numbers. And as you are probably well aware, the numbers of the LGBT community are only somewhere between, they estimate, 3.8 to 6.8 of the population, percent of the population. So yeah, we can't do it without having allies.
No.
We do have a very special ally with us today.
We do.
One of our absolute favorites, and we're pulling him from behind the cameras.
Yay.
Our good friend and hardworking director
talented.
of photography, very talented, Joshua Guerci.
Yay.
Come on, Joshua,
Come
get
on
on out here.
Hey,
I know
what's
it's
up?
weird to be on this side of things.
Joshua
but-
is representing our ally.
Let me get him a drink. Hold on.
Oh, drink.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Priorities.
You can't be on happy hour without a drink.
So welcome.
Welcome to
Hey,
the side.
thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yay,
Yeah.
cheers.
Yeah.
So,
We have a question.
question.
So we've been using this term ally throughout this morning's discussion, and it's a term you're probably familiar with, but we wanted to start off by really clarifying for everyone and ourselves to some extent what the term ally actually means, right? So we wanted to get your perspective on that. What does it mean to be an ally?
I think that, if you think that gay people are human beings like everybody else and that you respect their relationships and their sexuality just as you would any, your own or anybody else's, then, you might find yourself in a position where people are calling you an ally. And I don't know.
Do you think it's something that has to be out there, attending protests, attending demonstrations, or do you think it can be something different from that and still as meaningful?
I don't think you necessarily have to be out in the streets protesting, although that's a great way to show your support. But even something as small as talking to your friends and family in quiet conversation about what you believe and showing them that this is something that you can support and still be yourself, still you aren't ruining the sanctity of your own relationships by supporting gay marriage.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
that's true.
Yeah, I like that answer because I agree that it can look like all sorts of things
Yeah.
to be an ally. So
Having
good.
that conversation in a one-to-one way is sometimes
Making
as
a difference.
effective or even more effective than being out on the streets with
Yeah.
signs, and
Yeah.
it all matters.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to talk to us. Yay!
We still think he's awesome.
He is awesome. One of our favorite allies.
Aw.
And speaking of favorite allies, we got a Facebook post from a viewer that I'd like to share with you to kind of set the stage here. I was so excited about this. It literally made me cry. Not that it takes a lot to make me cry.
No, it doesn't, but this is
but
just really,
this
really
is great.
meaningful.
Let me share this with you from Dace in San Francisco. Question for my LGBT friends below. I have always welcomed my friends with open arms and complete acceptance of their identities, regardless of their gender or sexual preference. My comfort within LGBT circles has led to my own sexuality being questioned on multiple occasions throughout my life. But admittedly, as a straight white male, I have never given much thought to how the rainbow flag and the struggle for equal rights it represents may have affected me personally. Last weekend was different. After the unreal amount of love I saw and felt over the weekend, I'd be a fool not to recognize how I've benefited directly from the culture of love and pride the LGBT community has worked so hard to build and courageously defend. I'll remember the SCOTUS decision and ensuing celebration as one of the most impactful examples of human goodness of my lifetime. Quite possibly the most important historical event I'll ever witness.
Yeah.
I'm losing it already. I want to capitalize on that feeling and become more actively involved in supporting gay rights. A question for my LGBT friends. How can I, as a straight ally, best support you and your cause from this point forward? Well, you asked the right person, and you may regret asking that. But, because boy, do I have some answers for you. But isn't that wonderful?
I think it was particularly striking for me because so many of us in the LGBT community spend so much of our lives fighting for acceptance, fighting for approval, fighting for some level of validation and affirmation.
Understanding,
And so,
yeah. One of the things that really struck me in that was that he said that his comfort in the LGBT community made people question his sexual identity too. Have you had that happen to you?
Yeah. We've talked about my crazy experience being in the Navy for a while.
Yeah, tell us
That's
about
Yeah,
that.
tell us about that.
The Navy's probably the gayest branch in the military, right? It has this whole reputation of it's the
says with love.
Navy. But yeah, there was this weird culture of homophobia and being. I think whenever you're 200 guys sleeping in a big room together, I think there's this sort of tension of everybody's got some sort of tension going on. They have to express it in some way, and that might be bullying on somebody that they think is
Bullying?
So you were
Is that what
bullied
you said?
because
Yeah,
they
bullying.
thought you were
Okay.
gay.
different. Yeah, anything different than them. Yeah.
But you never questioned your own
And
sexuality.
I actually was dating a girl on the ship. I think that brought on a little bit more of the bullying.
You had a girlfriend there on the ship and yet you were teased for being gay.
Yeah,
And-
definitely.
And was it something that was really hard for you?
It was so difficult, and then the funny thing happened is I went to go see one of the ship medical officer for a psych evaluation, and the psych evaluation actually came back and said that according to this 1940s book of mental disorders, you're homosexual.
Oh my god!
God.
What?
I didn't know that.
So they were like, and since we can't tell you you're gay, we're just gonna lose this paperwork.
Are you kidding?
That was like the only way they could deal with it.
How did you react to that?
I mean, I was just like, I didn't know what to say.
Because you knew you weren't gay.
I was pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But this is kind of the core of the issue for me, right? I mean, if you look at being gay as not a derogative sort of, state of being,
Right.
then it's not something that would be so awful to be misperceived as being gay. Is that a fair
Right.
assessment?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if anybody mistook me as gay now, I'd just be like, I might not even correct them, just like, because who cares?
Yeah. You'd say, is it my dressing? Because I look so cute.
Right, is it my hair?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Do you feel like being an ally or being open and accepting and embracing of the LGBT community is something that you've always had within you, or?
Oh, no, it wasn't really always a thing. I think because I have a dark secret past where I went to a Christian school.
Oh, what was that like?
Normal, I guess.
It was
Define
a-
normal.
Was it Catholic?
We don't know
Or-
anything about normal.
Well, no, I went to a Protestant middle school and then I went to a Catholic college, so I guess both. But yeah, I mean, you took classes on the Bible and they told you what's the proper way to live your life, which is, find a woman and get married and, that sort of expectations that Christianity has. I don't necessarily say that was overtly homophobic, but it was definitely, a heteronormative upbringing in which would make you sort of awkward and uncomfortable in your first experiences with gay people.
Okay. Ever since I've known you, you've been doing work for the gay and lesbian, transgender especially community.
Yeah.
You've introduced me to a number of people that I didn't know and done fantastic work. What brought you to that place where you sort of dedicated so much of your heart and your time to the cause?
Yeah, I think there's two things. I mean, this is sort of the story of our generation. If you aren't involved in telling the story of the LGBT community, you're just not relevant right now. There's no single moment. I mean, it's just sort of you as you mature, you sort of realize what it is that you want to do with your life. My involvement in the LGBT community isn't. I don't feel like it's a service of other people. Maybe this is an unpopular viewpoint, but it's a really selfish thing in that I think that everybody, as Dace had said, we all benefit from the progress of the LGBT community because none of us really fit into that mold of that the patriarch has given us what a man should be. And so when we fight for gay rights, we fight for all of us who look a little less like Charles Atlas, you know?
Charles Atlas, now there's a reference from
I know.
from the
Back to the
past.
40s.
Right. In the magazines. All right, we'll talk about this a little bit more.
Yeah.
We'll be right
Great
back with
information.
more from Joshua.
Look at me, I got a cowboy shirt. I'm a cowboy now.